In 2010, following the success of the MCU movies, Marvel Studios formed subsidiary Marvel Television to produce spin-offs of the MCU films under the leadership of Jeff Loeb. Their first show was ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which premiered in 2013 and featured many direct connections to the MCU. Since then, they've produced many other shows including Agent Carter, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, The Punisher, Inhumans, Legion, Runaways, The Gifted, and Cloak and Dagger. And all of these shows were made with the intention of being a part of the MCU with the exceptions of Legion and The Gifted, which are intended to be standalone with loose connections to the Fox X-Men movies. But over time, these shows became less and less connected to the MCU. The reason behind this was mainly that in 2015, Marvel Studios became more highly integrated into Disney. Kevin Feige was sick of reporting to the difficult-to-work-with Marvel CEO, Ike Perlmutter, so this happened so that he would now report to Disney chairman Alan Horn. This left Marvel Television, still under the command of Ike Perlmutter, much more separated from Marvel Studios, making it hard for each studio to stay on the same page, and for Marvel TV shows to remain connected to the MCU. Then, in 2018, it was reported that Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige were developing various TV shows for Disney Plus that would be directly tied into the MCU, with characters and plot threads from the MCU affecting and being affected by these shows. At first, this wasn't a huge threat to Marvel Television, but then in 2018 and early 2019, Netflix canceled all 5 Marvel Television series that they had going. That left Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was nearing its final season, Legion, which was also ending, Runaways, which again was ending, The Gifted, Cloak and Dagger, and the 2 new series ordered by Hulu for the following year, Hellstrom and Ghost Rider. Then later that year, Ghost Rider was cancelled by Hulu before production began, and The Gifted was cancelled as well. That meant all that was left of Marvel Television was Cloak and Dagger and the upcoming Hellstrom. So the decision was made last year to cancel Cloak and Dagger and to dissolve Marvel Television, with Hellstrom moving to Marvel Studios for production. So the big question is, will these shows, most of which were barely kind of made by Marvel Studios, continue to be considered canon to the MCU? The short answer is probably not. Wait, you wanted the long answer? Alright, I guess I can come up with something. So, these shows tend to not be very connected to the MCU. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter are the only 2 with direct connections. A lot of these shows are connected to each other. For example, the Netflix shows were all in the same universe, and there is a crossover between Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, but besides occasional references, there's nothing really connecting it to the MCU. If you just watch Daredevil or Runaways or Inhumans by themselves, there's literally nothing that would make you think they're in the MCU. And because of that, in a few years, if Marvel wants to make, say, an Iron Fist movie, there's so little connecting the Iron Fist show to the MCU besides crossovers with other shows with little connection to the MCU, that just saying, oh yeah, the Iron Fist TV show isn't canon, this new movie is, would be very easy. And let's say that new Nick Fury show has him meeting Sword and going to the moon. They probably don't want to have to work around the fact that an 8-episode long flop of a TV show said that there was a hidden city on the moon. So, while these shows were still considered canon to the MCU as I typed the script for this video, they probably won't be for long. If I had to guess, Hellstrom will continue to be disconnected to the MCU, but because it's made by Marvel Studios, it'll be considered canon. Legion and The Gifted will remain non-canon. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Inhumans, Iron Fist, The Defenders, Runaways, and Cloak and Dagger will no longer be canon, though they could still be canon with each other, just not with the MCU. Agent Carter will be canon, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be loosely canon. What do I mean by loosely canon? Well, the characters and events of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will remain canon, but if there's something that happens in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that Marvel Studios decides they want to do, that aspect of the show is no longer canon. So if Marvel wants to use the Inhumans or make a Ghost Rider movie, they can, and they don't have to worry about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. affecting it. So what do you think? Do you like the MCU TV shows? Do you think they should stay canon? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for the 3rd and final installment in my trilogy on current Marvel events. Bye.